You didn't sign up for this. You took this job because it paid well, the benefits were decent, and honestly, you needed something stable, something simple. Walk the corridors, check the cells, keep the peace, go home. That was the deal. Nobody told you that one day you'd be standing outside a man's cell 3 days before his execution, knowing, not suspecting, not guessing, knowing that he didn't do it. And the worst part, you have no idea what to do about it. Let's back up. You've worked at Hargrove Correctional for 6 years. 6 years of the same routine, same faces, same walls, same smell of industrial bleach and boiled food that hits you the moment you walk through the gate. You know this place better than you know your own home. You know which inmates are genuinely dangerous and which ones are just broken. You know which ones will be back 6 months after they leave. You know the ones who sit quietly in their cells reading because the outside world was never kind to them anyway. And after 6 years, you develop something they don't teach you in training: instinct. You can feel when something is wrong, when a story doesn't add up, when a man's eyes tell you something completely different from what the file says about him. That instinct is what started all of this. His name is Daniel Osei, 41 years old, convicted of murdering a local businessman named Richard Hale 4 years ago, sentenced to death. The case was clean on paper. Security footage put Daniel near the scene. His fingerprints were on a glass at the victim's home. 2 witnesses placed him in the neighborhood that night. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. Guilty. Death sentence. Case closed. But here's the thing about Daniel Osei. In 6 years of working this job, you have never once seen a man on death row behave the way he does. Most men in his position are angry, loud, either completely shut down or constantly fighting the system. That's not judgment. That's just what this place does to people. Daniel is different. He reads every day. Philosophy, history, economics. He asks you questions about your kids when you walk past. He remembers the names of every guard's family member. He helps the younger inmates when they arrive, terrified and lost. He doesn't act like a man who committed murder. He acts like a man waiting for someone to finally listen. It's a Tuesday night, 2 weeks before his scheduled execution date. You're doing the 2 a.m. round. The prison is quiet. Most inmates are asleep. Your footsteps echo down the corridor. You reach Daniel's cell and slow down. He's awake, sitting on the edge of his bed, head in his hands. You've seen this before. The closer the date gets, the harder the nights become. You usually just keep walking. But tonight, you stop. You don't know why. Maybe it's the instinct again. Maybe just something tells you to stop. You ask him if he's all right. He looks up at you and says something you will never forget. He says, "I know you can't help me, but I need someone to know the truth before I'm gone. Not for me, for my daughter." You should keep walking. Instead, you lean against the wall and say, "I've got 10 minutes." What he tells you in those 10 minutes changes everything. Daniel tells you that on the night Richard Hale was murdered, he was not in that neighborhood alone. He was there meeting a man named Marcus Webb, a city councilor, a married man with a very public image and a very private life. Daniel had been doing construction work on one of Webb's private properties, work that was never officially recorded, paid in cash, completely off the books. That night, Webb had called him urgently to fix a burst pipe before his wife arrived the next morning. Daniel has texts, he has photos he took of the property that night with timestamps. He has everything. So why didn't he use any of it in court? Because 2 days before the trial started, Marcus Webb's lawyer came to see him, and the message was simple. Bring up Webb's name in that courtroom, and Daniel's daughter, 16 years old at the time, living alone with her mother, would not be safe. So Daniel stayed quiet. He took the conviction. He chose his daughter's life over his own. You stand there in the dark corridor processing what he just told you, and then he slides something under the cell door, a small folded piece of paper with a phone number on it. He says, "That's my daughter.
She has everything. I gave it to her 2 years ago. I just need someone to tell her it's time to use it. You sit in your car for 40 minutes after your shift ends. You don't start the engine, you just sit there. Think about what you're holding. On one side, a man is going to be executed in 12 days for a crime he didn't commit. You have the name of the person who can prove it. You have direct knowledge of a cover-up that sent an innocent man to death row. On the other side, Marcus Webb is a city councilor with money, connections, and a demonstrated willingness to threaten a teenage girl to protect himself. Coming forward means going up against all of that. It means your name in the papers. It means lawyers. It means people asking why you waited. It means your job, possibly your family's safety. You think about Daniel's daughter. She's 20 now. She's been living with this secret for 4 years, watching her father count down to his death. You think about Daniel himself, reading philosophy in a cell, answering your questions about your kids, protecting his daughter with his silence. And you think about the system you work for, the system you trusted, the one that looked at all the evidence and got it completely wrong. You pick up your phone. You dial the number on the piece of paper. It rings 3 times. A young woman answers. You say, "My name doesn't matter right now. I work at Hargrove Correctional. Your father asked me to call you. He said it's time." There's a long silence on the other end of the line. And then she says, "I've been waiting 4 years for this call." I'm not going to tell you how this ends, not because I don't know, but because the ending isn't the point. The point is the moment you had to make a choice, a quiet choice, one nobody would ever know about if you walked away. You could have walked on that Tuesday night, finished your round, gone home, let the system do what systems do. But you stopped, and sometimes that's all it takes. One person, one decision, 10 minutes leaning against a wall in a dark corridor, listening to a man tell the truth. Not every prison holds criminals. Some of them hold secrets, and some secrets are worth the risk. Subscribe to ShadowPOV, new stories every week, stories that show you the world through eyes you never expected to have.